The average American in their 20s has a net worth of about $7,000, which I believe is a little bit generous because half of the people under 30 has a negative net worth. And so if you're sitting there watching this and you feel that money is tight, it probably is. You're not just imagining it. But here's the thing, your 20s is the most important decade of your life when it comes to building wealth. Not your 30s, not your 40s, your 20s. And the gap between people who figured this out early and people who don't slowly but surely becomes an abyss. I want you to be on the bright side of distribution, so today I put together 9 things, a simple checklist that you need to be doing right now if you actually want financial freedom and not just a paycheck that disappears every 2 weeks. And this is coming from someone who went from being broke or financially illiterate to reaching the top 1% of the age group, and number 1 is the single best one. So let's get into it. Number 1, invest as much as possible as early as possible. All right, first things first, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. You need to be investing. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's no longer optional. It's mandatory. If you're just holding cash in a Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or a Chase bank account, every day you're falling behind. The US dollar is going down value at a staggering rate. And even last year, the value of the dollar went down 10%. That means that $10,000 that you keep in your Bank of America checking account just lost 10% of its purchasing power overnight while you were sleeping without you even doing anything. And I don't want to get too geopolitical in this video. That topic alone deserves, its own thing. But the confidence in the US dollar is going down drastically. But if you look at other financial assets, you think stocks, maybe commodities, we're all going up. And once I really internalized the importance of investing, that's when kind of my whole life changed, because I found out what compound interest was. I was just playing around with compound interest calculator online, and I figured out that literally only $10 a day is enough to make you a millionaire by the time you retire. $10 a day, that's your daily Chipotle bowl. And let's just take a second to play around with this, because honestly, this really changed my life. So let's say you're 20 years old and you have 45 years to invest, right? Let's say you have $0, you get a average return of 8%, which is really doable, really doable. That's like the bare minimum that you can get, right? Okay, I guess let's put $1. You have a $1 invested. At $10 a day, meaning you invest $300 a month, at the age of your retirement, you will have around $1.5 million. But let's say you really lock in and you invest $500 a day. Now the number is 2.6 million. Now let's say you're a baller, you have a lot of disposable income and you really lock in your savings rates, which we'll go into detail later on. But let's say you're able to invest $1,000 a month. Now you have $5 million. Investing is the only realistic way that you're going to be building your wealth. And of course, having all those $1 million when you retire is, amazing, but that's not the best part. The best part is the freedom that it gives you. Because who really cares about a number on a screen? I'm not really working just to see kind of numbers go up. It's all about freedom. The freedom to quit the job that you hate and to not spend your entire life working for someone else while you watch your kids grow old, but you have to go work instead of playing around with your kids and spending time with your family. Now I want to take a second and just show exactly what I'm investing personally. And so my biggest holding right now is index fund or mutual fund called VTSAX. It's basically a mutual fund version of Vanguard's total stock market index fund, VTI, and it basically just covers the entire stock market. I didn't really want to, think about it too much or do any research, so I just said, hey, let me just buy everything. And the reason why I love index funds and ETFs so much is because you don't need to do hours of research, you don't need to be glued onto a screen, and you don't need to try to time the market. All you need to do is figure out how to make money, save the money, and then invest it consistently. And the best part is you can start with $1 or $5, and I show you exactly how with my 5 steps to investing checklist. It's 100% free, so if you want to get started putting your money into work, I'll put the link in the description down below. And I'll walk you through everything from opening your first account to making your first investment, so I hope it helps. Now, investing is probably one of the most important things on this list, but it's not the first thing that you actually would need to do. I really just wanted to hammer the emphasis on investing, but it's not your number one, step number one. In order for you to invest properly, you're gonna have to do the next few steps. Number 2, tally up all your debts and assets and figure out your net worth. Now, before you consistently make moves, you need to know where you actually stand and know the lay of the land of your own kind of financial situation. And most people in their 20s have never done this. All I want you to do is write down every single thing that you own that has value, like your savings, investments, if you have car, any crypto, things like that. And then right next to it, I want you to write down every single thing that you owe, any debts that you have, student loans, credit card debts, car loans, pretty much anything. And then all you have to do to figure out your net worth is to have your assets minus your debts. And then bam, that's how you figure out your net worth. And at this stage, I really want to encourage you not to judge yourself and kind of look at it and just feel bad. That's not the point of this. All you're doing is figuring out where you are right now. You're pretty much the doctor and you're looking for any type of sickness, anything that's wrong with your body. You can't treat something if you don't know what's wrong. So this is your financial checkup. And there's a quote that really goes hand in hand on this, and it's, you can't grow what you can't measure. This is what you're doing. And I know this all can feel really uncomfortable. A lot of people in their 20s are in debt because of school, It's normal. The literal median net worth of people under 35 is nowhere near what you'd probably expect. This is all about looking at yourself in the mirror and being honest so you can actually build a roadmap that matches your situation. Step number 3, figure out your savings rate. All right, this is super important, so let me keep this short and sweet. Your savings rate is the single best indicator of your financial health. Your savings rate is literally just a percentage of your monthly income that you have left over after all your expenses. And figuring this out is really easy. I mean, honestly, you can just use any of the budgeting apps like Monarch Money, YNAB, Copilot. You can sign up for like a free trial and then cancel if you really want to. If you don't want it, I also have a budgeting template down below. But basically take your total income, subtract all your spending, and whatever is left of your savings rate, make it a percentage, and that's it. Now, if you're at 0%, that means you're living paycheck to paycheck. Anything that comes in goes immediately out. And if you're at a negative, well, that's your wake-up call. You are spending more than you come in. And this is a sickness that you're trying to diagnose. Now, a good rule of thumb is to at least, at a bare minimum, save 10% of your monthly income. 10%, and that's just the bare minimum. That just shows you that you're able to have something left over and you have some sort of level of discipline. And this number ties directly with how much you can invest, because you can really only invest how much you save, and you can only save how much you make. And so once you know your savings rate, it's time to kind of diagnose yourself and try to improve it as much as you can. It's not necessarily about cutting out, all of those $10 coffee cups or avocado toast. It's really just about optimizing the big 3, which leads to number 4, optimize the big 3, which is housing, transportation, and food. These are the biggest categories in most people's expenses that will eat up the majority of people's budgets. And so if you really want to move the needle on your savings rate, yes, of course, making money is really important, but locking in on these 3 categories is where you should start. Not necessarily the $5 coffee. Again, that's not really going to make that big of a difference. First, let's talk about housing. And it's one of the biggest mistakes I see people, my age in their 20s make. And it's really just like moving into an apartment right after college or moving by themselves. And so right away, when they start making money, maybe they feel like they deserve it. They move into the high-rise apartments, or they move into themselves and now they're paying $2,000, $3,000 a month. But if you move somewhere that you can't really afford, well, you kind of just lock yourself in a 12-year monthly subscription that you can't just cancel. So a good rule of thumb is that you don't want to live somewhere that costs more than 30% of your gross monthly income. Now, the next one is transportation, and this one literally drives me crazy, no pun intended. Now, the average car payment right now is around $700 a month, which is a crazy monthly subscription if you ask me, for something that you don't even necessarily need that much. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, about 70% of the people that I know who bought new cars in their 20s did it for either status or because they thought that it would get them a girlfriend. So not really good reasons why. Maybe you need it for work, but if you're spending, 30 bands on a new car that depreciates literally 10 to 15% right off the lot, then that makes no sense. You can buy a used Toyota Corolla on Facebook Marketplace for like $6,000. Me personally, I still drive my 2017 Toyota Corolla, and honestly, I'm gonna drive that to the ground. I love that car. And the next is food. And I'll be real, I do allocate more of my budget to this category, and that's because I'm trying to be a lot more healthy these days and invest back into my body. I want to eat, the clean foods. I want to eat whole foods, only the healthy stuff. And honestly, it's not that expensive. What's really expensive is if you're ordering DoorDash or Uber constantly or going out to eat. I like to cook maybe like 80% of my meals at the time. And honestly, there's a big difference from the quality of foods that you cook at home and when you go to a restaurant, and just how you feel in general. And so when you look at this, I'm not telling you to eat ramen and spam and just live off of $5 hot dogs all day. I'm actually telling you to just cook more. This is the category of expenses where I'm okay with splurging a little bit, but only if you're cooking and you're buying like Whole Foods, not going out and eating. Now, optimizing these 3 categories alone could free up hundreds of dollars a month, but there's something else that people in their 20s get wrong all the time that actually costs them way more in the long run. And real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor for this video, and it's me. I'm the sponsor. And actually, I'm not even selling anything. I kind of just want to get to know you a little more just so I can curate the type of content that I make and maybe make more guides that'll help you directly. And so if you have a minute or two to answer a few questions, I would greatly appreciate it. I really want to just get to know you more. What type of financial position you're in? What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? Or what's kind of stopping you right now? Just so I can help you more. And so if you're interested, I put in the descriptions down below. And then number 5 is focusing on earning rather than learning. Now, this one took me a long time to really internalize, and it took networking with a bunch of other millionaires and other successful people in their 20s to really understand this concept. And honestly, I think a lot of people in their 20s fall into this trap. I mean, I definitely did. And so when you first enter the job market and maybe you get your first big boy job, the first instinct is to figure out how to maximize your income right away. You just want to apply for the high paying jobs and figure out how to climb the corporate ladder so your yearly salary goes up, work the overtime, chase the bigger number. That's normal at this stage. Everyone really does that. But I believe that you're missing the bigger picture. First of all, just like how we covered, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. It doesn't matter if you're you're earning more. If you're spending even more, then it doesn't matter what type of job or how much money you make. You're still in the same spot that you were before. Second of all, building wealth and life in general is a marathon, not a sprint. Your 20s is the best time to fail, mess up, and learn. This is the time to be experimenting, building your skill sets, building that resume that you have, increasing your network, and developing real life skills that'll translate later on in your entire life. And that's because how much money you make is directly proportionate to what type of problems that you're able to solve. And so if you build up your skill sets and are able to solve these high value problems, you'll get paid like a high value. Your paycheck will follow your skill sets, but if you skip the skill building part and just chase that higher number, then you will hit a ceiling and you may not go as far as you'd want to. And speaking of investing in yourself, there are 2 books that are probably worth $10 to $20 that completely changed how I think about, this entire decade and era of my life and helped me build this wealth that I have today. And if you do nothing else from this video, I hope that you at least read these 2 books. The Defining Decade and The 5 Types of Wealth by Sahil Blue. Now I made a video on Instagram about these 2 books. It blew up. So apparently people agreed with me. This book is pretty much exactly what we've been talking about this entire video. It's all about how your 20s is one of the most important and formative decade of your life. And it's not just about money, it's about your career, your relationships, and your health habits. Everything that you do during these 10 years will reverberate and compound later down. And so if you're not taking, advantage of the time of this era that you're in right now, then you are wasting your 20s. Just take it from me. I remember when I was 21, I blinked and now I'm 24 years old. I'm almost done with my 20s and time really goes by. So you really don't want to waste your time. And so if you're stuck, this book will really give you a sense of urgency. Now this book is one of my favorite self-help books that I read in a while. And it breaks wealth down into 5 different categories, not just about, finances, your financial wealth, physical wealth, mental wealth, social wealth, and time wealth. And it's a big reminder that building wealth doesn't just have to do with money, it's all about the relationships, experiences, and the freedom that you build along the way. If you're grinding 80 hours a week and making great money, but your health is falling apart and you're all alone, then that's not the real wealth that I want, and I don't think that you want either. And so having those concepts on the forefront of my brain really helps me move strategically and helps me put and redistribute my priorities to not just chasing a number, but to really living and curating that lifestyle that I want. These 2 books will completely change your perspective, but there's one more mindset thing that most people overlook, and it has almost nothing to do with money, and it's number 7, and it's to evaluate your circle. You probably heard the whole chimp theory where you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. And while of course I think it's a little bit simplified, I think there's some truth to it. The people around you and your environment will obviously influence your life decisions. What you think about, what you do on a daily basis, everything. And so I'm not saying to switch up and cut off your day ones. That's not it. That's not what I do or I believe. But you need to be honest with yourself. And if there's someone in your life that's constantly bringing you down, that's draining your energy rather than giving it. And so I think that's a real conversation to have. Is this person serving you or are they not? And at the same time, you should be actively seeking out or holding people close who are where you want to be or who inspire you and give you energy. People who challenge you, people who aren't just drifting through life, but also want to improve, themselves as well. And especially if you're in your 20s, your circle will shift, naturally. Just make sure you're being intentional and you only really hang out with people that you want to hang out with. But one of the best things that I did, in my early 20s is what I'm about to tell you next. And honestly, it would have saved me so much money and stress if I had started sooner. It's number 8, automate your finances. Now, again, this is honestly one of the best things I did in my early 20s. And it's the reason why I can sit here and share my portfolio and not stress about money. And it's because I set these systems up early on and just let it go in the background. And a lot of people don't set up a system like this up and they get, overwhelmed by their finances. They feel like there's a lot of moving parts. They have to do a lot of different things, make sure they remember to save, make sure they remember to invest. And it's just, overwhelming. But here's the thing, and here's what I did. You can just automate the entire process. You can automate your savings, your investments, and you can automate your money moving around and working for you without having to press a single button. And I have an entire video on this paycheck routine and how to set all these automations up, so I'll keep this short and sweet. You want to automate your savings to a high yield savings account, only enough for your emergency fund and other savings go like a down payment on a house or for travel. Then you want to automate your investments, your Roth IRA, your individual stock brokerage accounts, and then you want to automate your bills, like your credit card bills, your rent. You can just automate all of that. And once this is running up, you don't have to really think about it or really touch it. You can just have it hacking in the background, and you can really focus on the harder, more strenuous parts of life, like making your money and trying to be, happy in this crazy life that we live in. And now without this one, the other 8 really don't have any direction. And it's number 9, to set your goals. Without a target or any clear goals that you may have, you're basically running a marathon with no finish line. It's really easy to burn out or get distracted if you don't have a clear North Star pointing and helping you guide the way. And there's even a study done, I think from Harvard, where they found out that people who actually wrote down their goals were significantly significantly more likely to actually hit them than the people who just, I guess, thought about it. It sounds really basic, but it's true. And these goals don't need to be crazy. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I need to become a millionaire in the next 2 years. It could just be, something simple. It could be setting up your investment accounts, maybe investing your first $10,000 or hitting your 100K saved up. Or it could literally just be saving a specific amount by the end of the year or starting, one side hustle. All I want you to do is just write down something, have goals and set it and try your best to do it. And I know I'm only 24, but I can already feel and fear how fast time is going by. And so I do really want to encourage you, please take this seriously. All you have to do is take this now. It doesn't have to be some sort of big gap. You're not going to, create a huge lifestyle change from today and then from tomorrow. All you have to do is just try your best to do this every single day, and that's it. Just have this in the forefront of your mind and just try to be a little bit better than the day before. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to complete all 9 of these tomorrow, but you just have to start. And that's because every year you wait and push it off, it gets harder. And do you remember that stat from the beginning, how the average net worth for people in their 20s is like $7,000? And if you even just do half of what we talked about, there's no way you're gonna be part of that statistic. You're not like the average person who just does nothing and drifts throughout their life. And that's the whole point. I hope you enjoyed this video and feel inspired. I'm not trying to be like your parents and tell you, don't do this and do this. And I really just want to inspire you because there's a lot of things that I did in my early 20s that, I regret, but there's a lot of things that I'm really glad that I did because I was able to kind of build the dream life that I've always wanted. And so I want that same thing for you. And if you want help investing your first $1,000, I have a free investing guide perfect for beginners. I'll leave it down below. It's 100% free. So if you want to start investing and putting that money to work, again, I'll put it down below and pin it in the comments. And please like and subscribe. Again, it means the world to me. And of course, till next time.